What's up everyone, Soldier First Class here. In today's mission, we're going to talk about Don Corneo and go in depth about Wall Market. We'll also talk about how they could expand this in Final Fantasy VII Remake. So stay tuned soldiers, it's time for our next mission. Before we begin this video, I'd like to give a shout out to a member of the ranks of Soldier, Veridusk. Thanks for the awesome video idea and keep up the great work. We all know him as the sleazy, perverted slumlord, but there's always been more to Don Corneo than meets the eye. He appears to be a rich man, but chooses to reside in the slums of Midgar. He does have a perverse and cruel nature, something that's likely not acceptable in the upper plate. But there's also more to it than just his mafia mentality and his perverse nature. He was hired by Shinra as an informant, and they believed his best base of operations is in the slums. What better way to gain intel than to insert yourself into the ecosystem of the slums? And here's why Don Corneo is actually the best person for this job. When you look at the Honeybee Inn, a place we can assume is run by the Don, it's a hive of information just waiting to be collected. The girls will talk to their clients, and with a little alcohol and some quality time alone, can get whatever information they want out of them. Rumors are a powerful thing, and loose lips sink ships, so with Don behind the scenes of the whole operation, he's actually the best source of information that Shinra has in the slums. If you think about it, not all battles are won with brute force. If they really wanted to, Shinra could send soldiers and Turks into the slums and find Avalanche the hard way, but this is a job that requires more careful planning and a lower profile. This is why the collection of intel is such an important job for the Don, and he has the best situation to take advantage of. Word of mouth is an extremely powerful tool. When you look at the common restaurant, people get comfortable and start talking loudly. Loud enough for someone one booth over to hear their entire conversation. Someone who may be frequenting the Seventh Heaven may find themselves at a Wall Market restaurant. A few drinks in, and they're telling everyone who will listen that there's something strange going on over at the Seventh Heaven. The restaurant owner reports back to the Don, and then he reports to Shinra. And the best part for Don Corneo is that he's getting paid extortion money to get information, but is also getting paid by Shinra for the information. This lines his pocket twice as much and makes Don even richer. When it comes to the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think we're going to see a more in-depth version of Wall Market. Nomura has already claimed that the Honeybee Inn will be redesigned with a more modern feel. What that entails is still a mystery, but it's left some fans uncomfortable with any potential changes. We don't know whether certain parts of it will be removed or if it's just being redesigned from an environmental standpoint. The setup of the Honeybee Inn was a little awkward by today's standard, and the camera angles and overall structure of the building are likely to change. In my mind, that's the changes we're looking at. The original game was only suggestive and nothing was ever really shown, so I think there won't be much change in that department. But it could be way off, and the entire interaction could be totally different. We also have the elephant in the room, which is the cross-dressing scene. We all know the mini-games, awkward situations, and other events that lead you up to cross-dressing Cloud, but what we haven't seen is how that will be shown in the remake. We got the squats minigame at Tokyo Game Show, so we know that we'll at least still be doing that part of it. We also know that the cross-dressing will still be in the game, as it was confirmed by the developers a long time ago. I think the remake will handle this in a similar way to the original. There's really no reason to believe anything will be taken out for this specific part. I could also see the Wall Market segment of the game being changed for something else too. We know that NPCs will be in the game because this isn't Fallout 76 we're talking about here. I would assume that NPCs will be more talkative this time around, or maybe even less. I think the whole dynamic of Wall Market could reflect the stranglehold that Don Corneo holds on it. We'll be seeing a living, breathing version of Wall Market, complete with the daily struggles of people living in the slums. I'd also like to point out that the name of the Wall Market theme is called Oppressed People. For me, this is confirmation that Don Corneo rules the slums with an iron fist. We can also compare him to Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. Jabba runs his own palace on Tatooine. Using this palace, he's able to gain information, including the whereabouts of Han Solo. He has a taste for beautiful women, is wealthy and powerful, holds a stranglehold on Tatooine's economy, employs many henchmen, and even has his own trapdoor, complete with his pet Rancor. This is so Don Corneo, it's like they ripped Jabba the Hutt straight out of Star Wars and put him in Final Fantasy VII. How fitting would it be if Mark Hamill is actually voicing the Don? Discovering that Don Corneo is actually a Shinra employee, Tifa allows herself to be taken to his palace. Sporting her signature blue dress, she's being held in what can only be described as Don Corneo's sex dungeon. I'm not entirely sure how this part's going to be handled, and if anything, I say just give the game an M rating and just let the developers do whatever they want. However, I have a feeling that's not going to be the case. We didn't get to see Tifa in her dress yet, but we did see in the Tokyo Game Show trailer that Aerith is looking as beautiful as ever, and even claims that she knows Corneo's got certain tastes. We also know there's going to be a little bit of expansion on character interactions, because in the TGS trailer, we saw Cloud's jaw drop after seeing Aerith. These little details are going to make the Wall Market segment even more enjoyable. What I'm actually interested in here is if Cloud will have different dresses, different accessories, and look differently based on how well your choices were made during this segment. You had several different options to choose from when dressing Cloud, and it makes me wonder if this will return. Will the interaction with the Dawn be different depending on these choices, or will one look for Cloud be canon and the Dawn's reaction is always the same? I guess only time will tell on that one. When the party threatens the Dawn with castration, he admits the plan for Shinra to destroy Sector 7. He then tricks the party and drops them into the sewers below to fight his pet monster Apps. We've already seen the insane level of detail in the Apps boss fight from Tokyo Game Show, and we've also seen how much more detailed Don Corneo is, complete with perversion and all. The Dawn then runs away from Midgar, attempting to flee Shinra due to his betrayal. While he is wealthy and powerful, he's also a coward and will do whatever it takes to survive. It was touched on a little bit in the original, but with voice acting, we may actually hear a little sniveling and fear in his voice. If you're able to return to Wall Market after this segment, I'm interested in whether or not Sector 6 will feel as if it's been relieved of a tyrant. If this is before the plate drops, we may see celebrations or even the people appearing more calm and happy. While it's not super important, I think the remake having this would be a nice little touch. Overall, there's a lot of moving parts in Wall Market, and I think the remake will make this part of the slums come alive. From oppressed shop owners and the Honeybee Inn to Don Corneo's palace, each location will be more detailed than ever before. So what do you think, soldiers? Will Wall Market be an awesome location to visit in Final Fantasy VII Remake? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to omnislash that like button. Let me know in the comments section below if you're excited to revisit Wall Market in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell to join the ranks of Soldier today. And for all the latest Final Fantasy VII Remake news, rumors, and trailers, I'm Soldier First Class, and I'm on to the next mission. Later, guys.